Hi, I'm Jeffrey, the illustrator for A Tale for Christmas, Zach's Quest. And today I'm going to show you how to draw Zach, the main elf character. So let's get started with Zach. He's the lead character in the story and he's really is fun. So I'm going to kind of do a classic sort of almost like a Mickey Mouse pose here to kind of give it, because I think it's kind of fun. And you'll notice that I'm sort of really working with from top to bottom to try to get this working just right. Just the basic elements here. I want to make sure I have approximately where all the main elements are here. I might even just like rough in, for instance, like this, the hands, just to kind of give an idea. Already I can kind of see where I'm going with it. Got to get his little cheeks in there, but I always like to start with the eye line so that I can get a really nice expression area for the eyes. I'll have him looking up there as if he's looking up to something like this. I think for me personally, it's always nice to try to get the character in there, because then that allows me to feel that he's alive for me. So in this case, it's more like I want to feel like Zach's sort of really already there. Get that kind of impish little smile going there. And let me go pull this over here like this. Try to get the little, he's got a small chin. Pull it up like that, but he's got these wonderful little elf ears, as you can kind of see like that. And then now for the big baggy collar here. And you notice I'm working in red because I'm going to draw over it again. I'm going to start to tie down everything in the pencil. So this allows me to sort of get everything to kind of work the way I want it to. I'm going to start to rough in his hat. And he's got hair back there, so I want to make sure I kind of get this sort of nice little feeling here. Something like that. Got a little tuft of hair flying out the back there. Gonna have some hair coming up here like this. Having some fun with this now. See, he's starting to come together, and he's all of a sudden starting to be more interesting. I'm gonna pull it down here to get because I want to get this waist to work for me. So he's got these cute little, I think I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to probably give him a little bit of the sleeves first. Get a nice little pull there, and then I'm going to sort of get a little bit of like a hang there with the sleeves and the shirt sleeve. Here we go. Up in it like this. Get that, and then pull that down there. Here we go. I'm going to get his kind of his thumb in the classic sort of ta-da pose. Here I am. Like that. Okay, now I'm going to get down to the shoes. And you do adjust these things a little bit as you get through it, so don't be afraid to. That's why I like to work in a blue or a red, because it helps me try to tie things down a little bit. This is also so I can get a little bit of the sort of the bagginess of his pants over where is going to be over the shoes. Now I'm going to just come down here and I'll do a little bit of a fold down there. Now I'm going to probably go a little bit lower on the feet, because he's kind of got big feet. There's his shoes, and then he's got that big ball of fluff there. Let me get this up here. Got a big ball of fluff here. And that's pretty much the roughness here. Let me get this. Notice I use this sort of kidney bean sort of shape here because I think it's really cute. Now there's the rough. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in there and start to pull out the drawing here by getting into his, again, I like to get into the eyes so that we can really get a nice touch here. Get that, and I'll start to really get a nice little area there where I can pull out the eyes. See that? I'm going to go over here, do the same thing in this area. See how all of a sudden it starts to connect when I get his eyebrows. Get that little nose, little pug nose sort of working. Bring the head in. He has this sort of little point here in the front, bottom lip. With every little bit that I do, it seems to get a little bit more locked into what he is. Gotta start building the hair out. Have a little bit of it coming up over here like this. So it can be kind of fun. And then like this. Get a little crease on there like that. Can't forget one thing. I'm going to go in there and sort of, like this cheek here, I want to make sure I get a little bit of that sort of rosy cheeks and with the freckles in there, like this, that he has. Now, let me pull his ears up here. And there's a little tuft. So I'll add a lot of things when I get into sort of refining the character. Like here, I'll pull this up, get in here, do a little bit of an overlap. Like this. Start to get the little fluffy things. Reverse it over here. Okay, now here we go. With his shoulders, pulling that down. I'm going to pull it up here. What I use is I try to do these sort of overlapping elements as kind of an old-fashioned thing, but it really does help to give a feeling that there's volume in here. Here we go. It is also really good if you can practice sort of controlling the lines. It really does help sort of give you a little bit. You won't get it right away, but it does help over the long term when you start to draw more often, because it's sort of like practicing or doing exercises. You're training your hand to actually sort of do what you want it to do. I always put a little bit in there because I got the creases in the hand, which is kind of nice to have. I'm going to add this. So he has a little bit of a pocket on one side. I'm going to do this so to get a little creases. Now I'm going to go back over here. And again, doing it in red first or blue first, or even if it's just a subtle, it allows you to kind of make adjustments as you get into it, as you get into the drawing. Of course, this is our main character, so he may change a little bit as we get into it later on as the movie starts to be made. And we may refine him a little bit too, because different artists may draw him in different ways, but generally we're trying to define how he's going to be all the way through. Just get up here like this. I'm going to go down to the bottom here, so I got the heel. Go back up here so we can see a little bit of get a couple folds in here. And again over here, I'm going to go down to there, pull it up, go up. Put another, this is the bottom of the sole. Notice I'm waiting to do the fluff because the fluff is going to be over it. So I have to think about what's on top and what's on bottom. Now also, I want to do a little stitching here, so I want to make it look like these are stitched shoes, like sort of some kind of a leather or something that might have been in there as well. One thing I like to do as well, if possible, let me just do this. I like to go over it with a little bit thicker because I think it helps you understand the silhouette, and so I'll go over it and actually do a whole sort of, some of the cartoon shows that you might see on television, like the Powerpuff Girls and things like that, use an illustrative style where they'll put a thicker line around it. And what it does is it helps it give the character a little bit more stronger silhouette. It reads a little bit better, but it also just, accents what it is you've already got there. As you can see, it sort of pops it up. And then you can say, oh, I want to make the eyelids a little bit darker here. You go over like that. And of course, since Zach's the main character here, you want to make it really kind of work. But it does make a difference, I tell you. It really helps him sort of pop off the page a little bit. Now this is more like just a presentation drawing of Zach. He's not really doing anything but saying like, hey, I'm here. But at least with this, you can kind of see where everything is going. Here we go, up here like this. Let me get over here. Oops, let me go back in there. See, even anybody can make a mistake. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. Someone once told me when I started drawing, you have 1,000 bad drawings you have to get out of your system. So get those out of there. And don't be afraid. You can't learn unless you fall off the bike once in a while. I think even in the beginning, when I first started at Disney, I was very intimidated by these grand masters who had worked on Snow White and Pinocchio. And I thought, gee, I'm just a kid. How the heck am I going to learn all this stuff? And I was really impressed with how generous and they were with their time and how patient they were with me and with all the artists. And, you know, a lot of those artists were like people like John Lasseter, who runs Pixar, and Tim Burton, who's a famous director now, and they all started. And I think those older guys who started in the 1930s and 40s, they really gave us young artists a sense of paying it forward. So you want to do that yourself as you move forward too in your drawing career, or just for fun. You might want to just do this stuff for fun. So there's Zach. Ta-da! I hope you enjoyed learning to draw this character, and please be sure to check out the other lessons in this series. Merry Christmas!